casting eerie shadows across the narrow road of the small town. Three friends, Alex, Sarah, and Jack, stumbled down the deserted streets, their laughter echoing into the darkness as they made their way back from a midnight party at a local bar. The air was thick with anticipation, and the atmosphere seemed to hold a sense of impending doom. As they walked, their footsteps echoed against the cobblestones, and the only sounds were the distant hooting of an owl and the rustle of leaves in the gentle breeze. Suddenly, a chill ran down Alex's spine, and he felt as if they were being watched. He glanced nervously at Sarah and Jack, but they seemed oblivious to the growing sense of unease. "Guys, do you feel that?" Alex whispered, his voice barely audible over the night silence. Sarah frowned, her eyes darting around the dimly lit street. "Feel what?" Jack shrugged, a smirk playing on his lips. "Relax, Alex. You're just spooked because of all those ghost stories you've been reading." But Alex couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. He quickened his pace, urging his friends to follow suit. As they turned a corner, they were met with a chilling sight. Standing in the middle of the road was a figure, half visible in the moonlight. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, and its presence sent shivers down their spines. The friends froze in terror, unable to tear their gaze away from the haunting figure before them. What is that?" Sarah stammered, her voice trembling with fear. Before anyone could respond, the figure lunged forward, its movements swift and unnatural. Alex's heart pounded in his chest as he grabbed Sarah's hand, pulling her and Jack away from the advancing specter. They ran blindly through the deserted streets, their breaths ragged and panicked. But no matter how fast they ran, the figure seemed to be always just behind them, its presence looming like a shadow in the night. Desperation fueled their steps as they raced through the maze of alleyways and darkened streets, their only goal to escape the relentless pursuit of the unknown entity. As they rounded another corner, they stumbled upon an old abandoned mansion, its crumbling facade looming ominously in the moonlight. With nowhere else to turn, they dashed inside, hoping to find sanctuary within its decaying walls. The interior of the mansion was as dark and foreboding as the outside, with cobwebs clinging to the ceiling and the faint scent of decay hanging in the air. The friends huddled together, their breaths coming in short gasps as they listened for any sign of their pursuer. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the empty halls, sending chills down their spines. They exchanged panicked glances, their fear reaching a fever pitch as they realized they were not alone in the mansion. With trembling hands, they searched for a way out, their hearts racing with every creak of the floorboards and every whisper of the wind. But the mansion seemed to be a labyrinth of endless corridors and hidden passages, trapping them in its nightmarish grip. As they frantically searched for an escape, they stumbled upon a hidden staircase leading down into the depths of the mansion. With no other options left, they descended into the darkness, their footsteps echoing ominously against the cold stone walls. At the bottom of the staircase, they found themselves in a dimly lit chamber, its walls adorned with strange symbols and ancient artifacts. But before they could explore any further, they were confronted once again by the haunting figure that had been pursuing them. With a guttural growl, the figure lunged forward, its eyes blazing with an otherworldly fury. Alex, Sarah, and Jack fought desperately to defend themselves, but it was clear that they were no match for the supernatural entity that now stood before them. Just as all hope seemed lost, a blinding light suddenly filled the chamber, banishing the darkness and revealing the true nature of their adversary. The figure before them was not a ghost, but a vengeful spirit trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. With a final scream, the spirit dissipated into the ether, leaving Alex, Sarah, and Jack shaken but alive. As they emerged from the mansion, they realized that their harrowing ordeal was finally over, but the memory of that fateful night would haunt them for the rest of their days. From that day forward, they would never again underestimate the power of the supernatural, for they had witnessed firsthand the terrifying consequences of crossing paths with forces beyond their comprehension. And as they walked away from the abandoned mansion, they knew that some mysteries were better left unsolved, lest they unleash something far more sinister than they could ever imagine.